Well, I'm here in France. I've done the same trip that thousands of you do each year, and that's come across the border into France in search for some big carp. Now I've travelled here today to Cedar Lakes. I've heard some great things about this lake. I'm absolutely buzzing. I've just seen a little glimpse of the water through there, so I'm going to get round, see Mick and see what's occurring. Hey, all right, Mick? How you doing?
Right, Steve?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Getting the marker float out there, are you?
Yeah, just try and get some depth out there. Not too far out there you go.
How deep's that out there?
You've got about 8 foot there, which is all lovely and clear. There's not much weed out there. The whole lake really, there's not much weed. But yeah, so that's what I'd like to get. I'd like to get a nice spot in open water.
Yeah.
And just keep feeding that for the week.
What sort of bait you putting on there?
The tiger nut and the
Complex tea,
yeah, mixed with the pellet and that, and that's, you know, it's fine on there. It works with the additives as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I've used for a long time now. You know, since I met you last year, really. So
yeah.
How was the journey down? All right.
Yeah, not too bad to be fair. It was nice drive down, not too much traffic.
Did you get the train?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get this in anyway. What
Yeah.
I'll do, I'm going to put my margin rods along the tree line.
Is it margins work well now?
Yeah, because you've got a lovely tree line, you know. So what I'd normally do is sort of fish just along the tree line, but just off it. You can either fish close to it, which is very hard and gravelly because it's on the bit more of the slope.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you can catch fish along there, obviously like that, which I do. If it goes a little bit quiet, then I bring it out into the deeper bit where it's more softer, where the natural food is.
Yeah.
So you know you can just go in a little bit, come out a little bit. But I'd like to have a couple along the tree line because that shouts carp anyway. You know you're going to pick fish up there anyway. So. And then I like to get one in the middle, so either, you know, I can fish to that, and sometimes Finn, if he fishes to that, or I'll get him a spot out there. You can find a spot, similar sort of thing. Yeah. And we just mark them up. Yeah.
So obviously you're fishing. This is what pegs this 1 and 2.
This is 1 and 2. Yeah. So one's to the left. I'm on 2.
So you and Finn are fishing here. I suppose we're fishing over there.
4, yep. Up the other end, 3 and 4. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'll probably let you get your rods out, and then I'll shoot round there and get set up.
Lovely. Good man.
Well, what can I say? First impressions, what an absolutely lovely lake. Absolutely buzzing now I've seen the lake. I can't wait to get round to the peg, have a little look at the water and get some rods out. I've seen what Mick's done. I think I'm going to do a similar sort of thing, but I have got a plan that I want to try and could work, could not. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll save that one for later. I'm going to get back round to the swim, get everything set up, and we'll catch up with you when I get the rods out.
That's it, second rod out along the tree line. Just get that set up onto that. That's it, and then in a while I'm going to get the marker rod out, have a play about with that, and then try and get a spot out in open water and just get that all clipped up and everything. So I've got a rod in open water as well. So I've got 2 tree line rods, open water. Job's a good one. Well,
as you can see, it's a couple of hours on from when I spoke to Mick round on the other side. So basically what I've done is I've got round here, I've got the bivvy set up, I've got everything sorted, and I've only put 2 rods out for tonight. What I've done is I've just boated out, I've done the exact same thing as Mick and put 2 rods right up along the margin in separate spots, and then I had a good lead around and found a really nice, firmer, siltier patch, and then I've just applied a lot of bait with that, and I've not fished yet. So I'll probably just watch out to see if that slicks up. But yeah, I'm confident we could get a bite on one of them margin bites, on one of them margin spots, sorry, either in the night or maybe in the morning, who knows. But for now, I think we're gonna get some food on. We'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning from Cedar Lakes, and what can I say, I'm absolutely buzzing to be off the mark straight away. We only fished 2 rods last night, down on the margins, just over behind my shoulder, and yeah, this morning I was luckily enough rewarded with this 31-pound common. Absolutely buzzing. I think we'll go through rigs and bait a little bit later on in the session, but for now I think we're going to get this one back, and I think Mick's got something a little bit bigger, so we'll go and have a look at that. Absolutely cracking.
Right, so this is the first rod that I put out yesterday afternoon, and it went this morning, early hours of this morning. It's 46-pound grass carp, my personal best for a grass carp, which was an absolute beast of a fight. There you go, an absolute tornado of a fighting powerhouse.
Well, after getting off the mark with that absolutely cracking 30-pound common and Mick with that mid-40 grassy, I wound the rods in and headed up to the shops, got some food and supplies for the week, and then I got back, had a bit of food and got 2 rods back out on the same sort of spots that I had them fishing on last night. And I haven't yet put a 3rd rod out, but I'm about to do that now. So I've just set this up with one of the pre-tied Carp Spirit lead core leaders, and then I've just got a 3.5 tournament lead there, and basically I've clipped it all up, and I'm just going to be casting out to that spot and regularly introducing bait with the spom exactly how I do it in the UK, and see if that can hold itself up against the tactics, you know, that Mick and Finn are using on the other side, and that I've successfully caught one on yesterday, which is putting them in the margins. So we'll get this one wrapped up, get a rig on it, get it out in the pond, and introduce a bit of bait. Well, after clipping up that rod, I'm just going to get it back out. This will be the first time I actually cast out onto this spot. As I mentioned earlier, I did have a lead about 16 wraps out to that spot, so I'll get this one clipped up. I'll go through rigs a little bit later on in the session as the week goes on, but pretty simple snowman rig there with a little wafter and hardened hooker in complex T. So I'll clip this rig on, and we'll see if we can get it out there first go. Now, leading arrangements, I'm just fishing a pre-tied helicopter leader, as I said. Absolutely perfect for this style of fishing. I'm not dropping the lead, there's no need to where I'm fishing out in open water. So we'll get it out there. Perfect. I've just put out my 3rd rod. I've only been fishing 2 rods today. They've only been out there probably a couple of hours since we got back from doing a bit of shopping. And yeah, the 2nd rod is just absolutely not torn off, but slow bite. Nothing better than just watching that bobbin pull up tight as the line tightens. And we're connected to another fish. Absolutely buzzing. We've had rain, we've had sun, it's all been thrown at us today, and this is putting up a decent little scrap. So I'm going to concentrate on this, and hopefully we'll see it in the back of the landing net. Well, there it is, 34 pounds of absolutely hard fighting Cedar Lake mirror carp. Taking on the other margin spot up against the tree lines, just a handful or a couple of scoops of bait. It's resulted in this one, probably a couple of hours after getting the rod out. Absolutely superb. Let's get some photos and we'll get a slip back. There she goes. Bosh! Well, after slipping that one back, I'm just firing a few spoms out there. Now, doing something a little bit different, using a lot more particles, smaller food items, and hoping to get a few fish grubbing on a tight area, competitively feeding. Bosh, there's another one over there. And hopefully later on in the week, or maybe even tonight, we might get a few feeding on it. So I'm going to get the rest of this bucket out there and we'll see where the night takes us. Well, it's another glorious evening here at Cedar Lakes out in France, and I'm actually happy with the way that today's gone. Obviously wound in after catching that 30-pound common this morning. Absolutely buzzing to get off the mark after putting just the 2 rods out last night. Went off, did some shopping, got back, looked prime. There was a lot of rain and some bad weather, to be fair, but I got the 2 rods back out on the same sort of spots, and then the other rod that was at a different spot further along the reed line, or not the reed line, the margin over there, and then that one went off. So yeah, 2 fish, 2 30s, absolutely buzzing. I'd love to get round and see Mick at the moment, but there is fish boshing all over the shop, so I'm a bit too, I don't really want to reel in, so I think I'll go around and see him in the morning, but for now I'm going to sit tight and hopefully one of these rods will go off tonight. Well, good morning, and I am absolutely shattered. I think it's finally catching up with me, but I've had another one last night or the early hours of this morning. He's just waiting in the sling now, so after I've had this cup of tea, we'll take him out, have a look at him, and I do also believe that Mickey Boy has had one as well. So I'll carry on watching the water. I've left the rod out, so I've still got 2 rods out, just one on that margin spot, and then the one in open water. So we'll give it another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll go and have a look at mixed fish after mine. it is, fish number 3, and the smallest one so far at 24 pounds, but an absolutely epic battle. But yeah, absolutely mint looking fish. I think the week's gonna slowly improve on the fishing as the week goes on, but I think I'll get this one slipped back, get the rods redone, and yeah, I think we could be in for another fish or 2 today. Let's get it slipped back.
£36 common from the open water spot, caught on a blowback style rig with the L Complex T hardened hook baits with a wafter on the top, like a snowman style. Yeah, lovely clean common. I'm well pleased with the result from the open water spot. Hopefully it's things can get better from that, hopefully. She just disappeared. Yeah, well, since the grass carp, I had one more take from the open water rod, which has been out there for, I think, since I put them out, really. When we filmed putting them out, that's the one with the I said I'm going to cast to, the open water spot, which is about 72 yards, which I'm going to cast to and spawn, which I did last night. Yeah, obviously I redone the tree line spots, which I changed one of them, which I'm going to alternate like I've got 2 different spots going. So, you know, just bait in one spot, fish in one spot. If I catch a fish from that, I'll fish the other spot I baited, and then alternate like that, so it's not getting caned too much, and just move them about really. But no, there's still plenty of fish showing down the tree line, but no, I'm glad the open water spot's gone really. Yeah, I would say the open water rod last night, I've left out for, you know, it's its second night. It was coming up like yesterday evening, so, and I was debating whether to reel it in or not, whether to leave it out. But I'm quite confident in the deeper water, in mid water, you know, open water. There's not much cray activity, so I felt confident to leave it out. I was going to reel it in and rechuck it just to check, but I was confident, as I say, you know, I sat on my hands and left it. And then I think it was about 12 o'clock last night. I was just sitting there, laying there, and it just screamed off proper like one toner. And I just got out and played that and got that in, and that's what resulted in the 36 common. But no, I'm pleased the open water rod went, you know, because that's the sort of area that I want to keep baiting up, and hopefully they'll come to it.
Well, there it is, an absolutely lovely mid-20 common, absolutely stunning, clean fish. Taken on that rig combination that I showed you, along with the mix of boilies, pellets, and a little bit of particle. So yeah, if you introduce that into your fishing, even on these sort of lakes, it can help you catch a few more fish like this.
£55, lovely common. Caught it on the complex T wafters and hardened hook baits. Screamer of a run. A stunning fish at the end of it.
We've been lucky to catch a few fish now. With the rigs that I normally use are these, which I tend to use in most of my fishing, which is a coated hook link, which I normally strip back halfway up to give it a little bit more flexibility. You can see there, and then down by the hook as well to make that a little bit more free flowing. And I think that enables a lot of fish to get that in their mouth, but when they feel that sort of danger and they blow it out, they find it very difficult to get rid of it, because that's, you know, all that bit there is moving around. And obviously the blowback style, which obviously does that effect, and then that hook drops down, which nails them in the bottom lip mostly. What it has done for the last few fish we've caught, and most of my fishing, as I say, they're the sort of rigs I use. And it's set up with the hardened hook bait with the wafter on the bottom that just kicks it up off the bottom and takes the weight out of the hook. And yeah, the length of it, you know, I vary the length. You know, I very rarely go under, you know, probably 12 inches really. But you've got the best of both worlds with that rig, because you've got the short rig there sort of thing, which is that bit. If that was just sitting on the bottom, that comes up. Or you've got a longer rig, if fish are sucking from a distance and it comes up, it gives that effect. And the hook baits, as I say, is the hardened complex T hook baits, which are soaked in the liquid, and the wafters, which are on the bottom of it. As I say, it just takes the weight out of the bait. Yeah, and the mix that I'm using is the complex T boilies. I'm not too bothered about size, but I've got 18mm I think of them at the minute, and I've got the tiger nut boilies, which I think are the smaller ones, 14mm. And I mix them two together with accompanying pellets in different sizes. So normally I'd do a bucket, you know, a normal size bait bucket, and I'd normally put probably, you know, 5 kilos of each in there, and a couple of kilos of the pellet, and then the accompanying liquids as well, which obviously they just soak it all around, and that, and a little bit of rock salt, which always goes down well. You know, just a couple of little handfuls in there just to mix it all around. Yeah, so that's it. That's the mix that I normally use, you know, and I'll either put that out with the boat, with a spoon, just a few handfuls over each, or as I say, you know, with the method that we're doing in open water with the spod in, it's perfect for that as well. It's a great spod mix.
Well, we've just had an absolute downpour, and I am hooked in to a fish. We had a little bit of a downpour. As soon as the rain stopped, fish started showing everywhere, and then I've just had an absolute screamer on the left-hander, fishing down to that corner. Had to play it quite hard. Oh, he's going to pick up one of the other lines, fish on the surface. Little bit of nip one per one, as they say. Ooh, power, power, power. Powerhouse. Let's just take. Right, well, I'm just getting a little bit more bait out because you wouldn't believe it, after slipping the net under that one, just from the margin spot down there, the one in open water where I've been spawning a load of particle is just melted off. And yeah, there's a few black clouds looming, so I've quickly got the rod back out and I'm just putting a few more spawns of particle back over the top, and hopefully I might be able to nick another one. So I'm gonna get some more bait out, probably redo that one down there as well, and we'll have a look at the fish in the sling. Well, there it is, an absolutely lovely mid-20 common. The second part of that double take, this one falling to the open water spot on a little 12mm hit and run, using my standard English tactics out here in France, doing the do. Let's get this one back and have a look at the mirror that was the first part of the double take. Well, there it is, the first half of that double take, being this mid-20 mirror. Absolutely stunning fish, give a proper good account of itself. And yeah, they're proper getting on that particles and the complex T in conjunction with a few of the CSL liquids. Cracking, let's get them slipped back. Well, there it is. Yesterday afternoon was a bit of a write-off with the weather, absolutely hammered it down. But last night all came good. I changed one of the spots and it's resulted in a couple of fish for me this morning. So I've had this one, the scraper 30 common, and something a little bit bigger in one of the slings. So get a couple of photos of this one, slip her back, and we'll take a look at that slightly bigger one. Well, there it is, the biggest one of the trip for me so far at 46 pounds. Came in the early hours of this morning and they are loving that complex T now. Just a combination of that particle mix that I showed you and the pellets and boilies. Absolutely stunning fish. New French PB for me. So we'll get a couple of photos, get it slipped back. Absolutely buzzing. I'm just going to run through the rigs that I've been using so far this week. I put these on at the start of the week and caught right from the off, so I've stuck with them for my whole time throughout this session, and they're quite simple and there's been nothing changed because they've worked from the off. So here it is, we've got about a foot there of combi stiff from Carp Spirit. I really like a stiff coated braid. Really helps to kick it back out, especially if there's crayfish or nuisance fish in the lake. We are having a few problems with crays, but nothing too major. It just means it's going to reset, and also if it gets picked up as well, it's going to reset itself. Then got a little bit stripped back, that just helps for movement when the fish picks up the hook bait. a long piece of shrink tubing with a little kick on the end, and that just really does help to turn over the hook when it's being ejected from the fish's mouth. We then got, I think this is either size 5 or 4 wide gape hook from Carp Spirit again, a little rig ring, and then I've just got a 20mm hardened hook bait there with a little 12mm hit and run, and that has really been doing the do this week. I've had a number of fish up to 46, and I know Finn and Mick are doing a very similar sort of thing. I've also done the same sort of thing just with the hit and run red wafters just on top there. That's also been doing a few fish for me this week. So enough of me wobbling on. I'm gonna get these rods out there and hopefully we'll be in for one more surprise.
Here we have 2 more beauties that have fell to the complex T and tiger nut baits. Seems to be the pattern of early morning runs, but they're definitely on the bait now because they're just passing it all through in the recovery slings here. Got the boilies, tiger nuts and everything, but yeah, a 36 and a 33. They look like brother and sister or brothers. But beautiful fish.
Well, there she is, a long, lean, fighting, scaly machine taken as part of 2 fish haul this morning. But yeah, absolutely stunning scaly fish. Got, as I said, got to be one of the smaller ones in here, but an absolutely stunning fish to catch and add to the list of fish so far. So we'll slip this one back, we'll take a look at the other common, and yeah, they're definitely getting on the bait. They're passing through a lot of bait in the recovery sling. So yeah, let's take a look at the other one. Well, there it is. They seem to be coming in 2s every single day, the early hours of the morning. But yeah, second part of that brace, a 29.5 pound common. Absolutely stunning, clean, immaculate fish. And it's been an absolutely awesome week here at Cedar Lakes. And if this is the last one, well, I'd just like to say thanks to Mick. It's been an absolutely amazing week, and I can't wait to get back out here in the future. Let's slip her back. Well, here we are, the end of what's been an absolutely fantastic week for me. Yourself?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm at it quite a lot of it. You've enjoyed it?
Oh, I've absolutely had a smashing time.
Yeah, well,
I
you
mean,
didn't. You didn't really know what to expect, did you?
I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what the setup was, and I've pretty much caught fish every day, and I've come away with a new PB of £46.
You can't fault that, can you? I remember when you first came on, actually, and you couldn't believe when you first see the lake and you see the cabins, and you went out and you was like,
so it's so comfortable with the cabins and the platform.
Well, it's luxury, isn't it? You know, you can come out and just in your sliders, bare feet, whatever you want. You know, but yeah, it's good. But the main thing, the fish are there as well. You know, we've had a cracking week. Yeah, all of us have enjoyed it.
I'll definitely be back in the future.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, you're welcome back any time.
Well, I better ain't got to watch, but
yeah, you
I
got to
better
make
be getting
tracks.
on the way. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah,
on the tunnel and back to England.
That's
Well,
right, mate.
anyway, good to see you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Safe journey.
I'll see you soon.